All right, it's time for our preseason edition of Who's In and Who's Out. Each week at this time, John and I will predict who we think will make the playoffs after the Monday Night Football games, which would give us a full week of games, and we could tell you the 12 playoff teams, 6-6. So we'll start off, John, with the AFC East. Who will the AFC East champions be and make it to the playoffs? Now, the Patriots have won this division for quite some time. I would find it far-fetched to believe that either one of us are going anywhere other than them.
Yeah, I mean, that's New England's birthright at this point. Until Tom Brady retires, until Belichick is gone, the New England Patriots own the AFC East, and that's not changing this year, especially if you look at the quarterback situations in Buffalo with Tyrod Taylor, with the New York Jets, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. And a lot of people like Ryan Tannehill, and he certainly has a chance to be an upper echelon player, but he's not there yet. It hasn't translated on the football field yet. So how could you not go New England in the AFC East?
Yeah, I got New England as well. We'll see if any of the AFC East teams make the wild card appearance here. Let's go to the North, John. This one's tough. You know, I kind of wrestled back and forth whether or not you like Pittsburgh. I don't know. Defensively, they're a little weak. If you like Cincinnati, you know, they've had some very good regular seasons, not a lot of playoff success. Then you throw the Baltimore Ravens, who have perennially been in the mix there as well. Are they the best team? You got, Cleveland seems like they're kind of turning the corner a little bit. They just can't seem to get the quarterback spot here. I'm going Cincinnati, though. They seem like the regular season success team in that division. So I'll go Cincinnati in the North.
Well, you mentioned Cleveland. I feel sorry for that organization. I mean, if you think about it, they have a suspension at every level of the organization. Their general manager is suspended. Their offensive line coach is suspended. And obviously you have Josh Gordon, the high-profile player. So Cleveland's not even in the conversation. It's a three-horse race. You're right about Cincinnati. The regular season, they've been rock solid. To me, though, I think Pittsburgh, when everything is settled down, and remember, Le'Veon Bell's not going to be there week one. Martavis Bryant's not going to be there for a number of weeks. But when you have those triplets of Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, that might be the most explosive offense in football. I give them a slight edge in that division.
By the way, this musical interlude, just a great, I feel like we're in like the lounge. You know, they should have like a lounge singer performing to this NFL mix here. All right, John likes Pittsburgh in the North. I like Cincinnati. I think in the South we'll both agree this is a one-horse race. The Colts running away from everybody. I guess if you like Houston, they might be a wild card consideration, but I like the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, you have to like the Colts. This is one of those slam dunks, and there's very few in the NFL. Andrew Luck is the next superstar quarterback in the NFL, and I like what Houston's doing defensively. There's no question about that. When you have J.J. Watt, Vince Wilfork is over there from New England. But, it's Andrew
I love Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, I love Bill O'Brien. I love Hard Knocks. I love the expletives flying. But, come on, it's Andrew Luck versus Brian Hoyer. This is a quarterback-driven league.
No doubt.
So, to me, take the slam dunk when you can get it in the NFL. As I said, it happens so rarely. If there's a block in professional football, it's the Indianapolis Colts as the AFC.
Well, and if you go back to the North, you took Pittsburgh, Roethlisberger. I took Dalton, and then you got Flacco hanging out there. So that's a really good quarterback-driven race out there. All right, in the West, this is another interesting one. I think everybody just thinks slam dunk Denver. But, San Diego was right on their heels the last couple of years, but they just seem like they just are always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I think Kansas City, though, I'll go Andy Reid in year number 3. Got him to the playoffs the first year, took a step back last year, had some injury issues out there last year. I think, though, Andy Reid in year 3 pulls off a little surprise. I'm going to take a surprise Kansas City in the West.
I'm with you. It's not a surprise to me. I don't understand what Denver did this season. And actually, it's my piece on today's Pigskin today. I don't understand what John Elway was trying to accomplish. To me, if you have a 39-year-old future Hall of Fame quarterback, 5-time MVP, you name the accolade, if you're going to bring him back, you bring the whole band back and try to go after the Lombardi Trophy one last time. He didn't do that. He blew out the whole coaching staff. John Fox is in Chicago. Adam Gase is in Chicago. Jack Del Rio's in Oakland. So all of a sudden, you have Peyton Manning, who the obvious strength of his game is running things from the line of scrimmage and being able to take advantage of what the defense is doing. And you have a head coach, Gary Kubiak, who wants to run the football. It doesn't make sense, square peg in the round hole. I think Andy Reid takes advantage of it.
All right, wild card teams in the AFC, John. I'm going Denver, a West representative, and I'm going to go Baltimore, a North rep, which means for me, Pittsburgh. A lot of people like them as a Super Bowl possible team because of that offense. I got Denver and Baltimore, my two AFC reps. But there's a lot of possibilities. I mean, you could go San Diego. You can go Buffalo. A lot of people like Miami. Houston's in the mix. I think the AFC has a lot of depth in there this year.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys who loves Phillip Rivers, so it's tough for me to leave San Diego out just because I think he's one of those guys who we always sort of skip over when we talk about elite quarterbacks, but I think he's right there. We mentioned Miami. You know, they might be ready. I think Joe Philbin has to actually make this a postseason run, or he's done. So it's important for them. Houston with that defense, but I'm sticking AFC North, and I think both of them. I think Baltimore and Cincinnati. I think 3 AFC North clubs are going to the playoffs, and I think Denver's taking a huge step back to maybe an 8-8, 9-7 season. They're going to be left out in the cold.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll do the NFC side and find out which of the NFC teams are going in. This is going to be an interesting one in the, of course, the East. Who's going to be the playoff representative there? The 2 wild card teams. That's the AFC side. I like the Patriots, the Bengals, the Colts, the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Ravens. John went with the Patriots, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Kansas City, Baltimore, and Cincy. So a lot of different picks there on the AFC side. We'll see how our NFC sides match up. Our first edition of Who's In, Who's Out, the preseason edition, live here from the Golden Nugget here in Atlantic City, where we will be every single Tuesday. And don't forget, you can make your picks now for the Golden Gridiron. And, of course, that starts today at noon, every Tuesday at noon through Sunday at noon. All you need to do is select which team you think will win the Sunday and Monday football games, and you can win every single week cold, hard cash. Back with our NFC Who's In, Who's Out, coming up next. 97.3 ESPN.com. John will be here every Tuesday. We'll do a lot of Eagles and NFL topics on the Tuesday shows this year with John. Of course, all his stuff at Today's Pigskin on his national coverage, and here locally at 97.3 ESPN.com with the Eagle stuff. All right, John, let's dive into the NFC and see who's in. These are our playoff teams from the NFC. We'll start from the bottom up. I'll hold the suspense for the East there, and go to the West and with the AFC West, which was very competitive the last couple of years. Obviously, St. Louis, San Francisco, looks like they've taken a step back. You've got Arizona was a playoff team last year. People think St. Louis. I'm going to stick with Seattle, though. I don't think anybody has improved enough to take them over.
Yeah, I agree. It's difficult. They've had some issues, most notably Cam Chancellor, and the fact that he's not in camp, and there's a question whether he's going to be ready for Week 1. But San Francisco's taken a massive step back. That's being kind. They might have had one of the worst off seasons in football history, and it starts with the coaching position, going from a true coaching heavyweight, Jim Harbaugh, to Jim Tomsula. I don't think that's going to work out. And then all the retirements from Justin Smith and Patrick Willis and Chris Borland for the concussion issue.
Borland killed me.
Yeah.
I have an IDP leak.
Yeah.
He was great last year.
He was tremendous. And you can't replace that kind of talent.
No.
You just can't. So Seattle, by default, Arizona, talented team, but I don't think they're ready to win the division.
All right, in the South, this one, put them in the hat, pick one out. Who'd you pull?
Why not Carolina?
Yeah, I agree.
Not? They've won it the past few years. First team ever to win that NFC South 2 years in a row. So let's make it 3.
Big injury for them, though.
Yeah, it was. But my theory with that is they didn't have receivers to begin with.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's not used to having receivers. It'll be no different for him. He'll be able to weather the storm. It's more of a shot at the other teams in that division than a.
I agree. Yeah. Tampa's not ready. I think New Orleans is taking a big step back, and obviously you look at Atlanta. They're kind of an unknown because people thought they were going to be much better last year from the year before because of a lot of the injuries. They just didn't get any better.
They're bad on the offensive line and they're bad on the defensive line.
Yeah. And Carolina, very good defensively.
Yes, and Luke Kuechly, one of the probably best 3 defenders in all of football. So it'll be ugly again, maybe 8-8, maybe 9-7, but they have a slight edge in a bad division.
All right, in the North, I've got Green Bay. I still think even with Nelson out, they're good enough, but I think they could be surprised by a couple of teams. I'm going to stick with Green Bay in the preseason. Who do you like?
Yeah, I'm sticking with them, but they're taking a step back, and Minnesota's on their heels. Detroit is on their heels. That Jordy Nelson injury, I think, was the most important injury of the preseason, and when it comes to hurting a particular club, I think it takes Green Bay from a legitimate Super Bowl contender down to a good team.
All right, let's go to the East real fast. Obviously, a lot of people think Philly and Dallas in a 2-team race. Which way you heading?
I'm going Dallas until they prove me wrong. I think they have a slight edge, but it's a 2-horse race.
I got Dallas as well in the East with Philly and Arizona as my wild cards.
I'm going Philly and Minnesota, Teddy Bridgewater and Adrian Peterson.
Philly and Minnesota as the wild cards for John. I've got Philly and Arizona as the wild cards for me. Clean sweep. We both like Dallas. We both like Green Bay. We both like Carolina. We both like Seattle. We both like Philly. The only difference in the NFC is Minnesota for John, Arizona for me. We'll talk about these selections and some more NFL when we come back live here in Atlantic City at the Golden Nugget, right here in Atlantic City every Tuesday. Come on out and see us.
Health Update with Robin Stoloff is brought to you by